the mysterious rise. It's like, no, Disney Channel, like other people and news outlets can pinpoint who certain songs are written about, and I don't know, it's very smart and it's very clever. And I think society, we just want to know too much, and parasocial relationships are really killing my people.
And it goes a little something like,
Hi guys, welcome to my review lifestyle and academia channel. My name is Agape, like the love. If you're new, then hi, welcome. This is a safe space, unless you don't like Olivia Rodrigo. But if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be exploring the success of Olivia Rodrigo and the success of Sour as an album, right? As an album, not just the singles that did incredibly well, but as the album.
oh, I love you, I love you, I love Olivia. I live for you, I long for you, Olivia.
I recently did a reaction video, a reaction and lyric analysis to the album, so I will put a card up here of that, and also other Olivia videos that I've done in the past. I've done quite a few. I might have to make a playlist just for her specifically, but it's been really interesting to see her, like, her come up over the last not only year, but like over the last couple of months, and how she's just grown tremendously in success. So yeah guys, if you want to watch the video, I think you should continue. But if you also want to like, comment and subscribe, then that would be really greatly appreciated for more content like this. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so there was a video that I saw recently that kind of wanted to like deter me from making this video, but because it was titled The Mysterious Rise of Olivia Rodrigo, and I thought that like that wasn't really correct, because it's not mysterious at all. Yes, her popularity might like the magnitude at which she's successful, that she has found success, might be like astronomical, and that must be like wow. But like if you actually look at her career and the different elements that make up why Driver's License #1 was so massive, and then also Deja Vu, and also Good For You, which was incredibly big, right, and still growing till this day, it's not mysterious at all. There are a couple of elements that aid and add towards her, like her global, like newfound success, but it's not mysterious. Mysterious is not the word to use. I think if you look at it, you can see that there are different things that culminated into like how big she is now, but mysterious, I don't think so. The first thing that I do want to discuss is like the big thing that started this new crave, like this new like wave of who is Olivia Rodrigo, and it is the storyline between her and Joshua Bassett and Sabrina. And I don't want to delve deeper into this because that's its own thing on its own, right? But I do want to say that people were intrigued in knowing someone's business, and I say that to say that like if we look at pop culture and we look at people becoming like and it's not to say that the people weren't successful on their own, but if we look at pop culture, a lot of the times music that has meaning behind, not even meaning, but when other people and news outlets can pinpoint who certain songs are written about, and the direct like you know, it's like, oh, the song isn't about a girl, but when we can say this song, and when we can hear like Don't by, oh, someone sneezed, Don't by Ed Sheeran, and we know that that was about him dating Ellie Goulding, but Niall Horan sort of like liked Ellie Goulding as well. And if we think about All Too Well by Taylor Swift, and we know that that's about Jake Gyllenhaal and the tumultuous relationship, like it aids in songs being incredibly big. Like Thank You Next by Ariana was a moment, right? But the fact that she was name dropping, Thought I End Up With Sean, wrote some songs about Ricky, even Almost Got Married, and Mac Is an Angel, right? Those just made the audience fall in love with the song even more, because we were able to almost like not even just envision, right? We were like spoon-fed what happened, and people want to know business. People want to know business that is not their own to know, right? So I think that not only was it like the love triangle and the Disney triangle that we have had previously with Nick Jonas and Miley and and even before that, right? Not only was that a big element in the story, but it was also the fact that we knew exactly who the song was, and the narrative of Olivia releasing Driver's License, and then Joshua Bassett was releasing Lie Lie Lie, but that sort of came afterwards. And then he also released Only a Matter of Time, and then Sabrina Carpenter released Skin. That was something that like fueled this like newfound crave. And I think it's because as a society we just want to know too much, and parasocial relationships are really killing my people. I say that all the time, but like I genuinely mean it, like 100%. Like parasocial relationships are killing my people because we want to know too much, and so we drive this this like media cycle. Something that was my first point about people just wanting to know other people's business. My second point was the use of social media. I made a specific video, like a whole video about this, about the power of TikTok, and I used driver's license as an example. Actually, I'm going to try and find a snippet of that video and enter it into this one, and also link it up so you guys can see. But TikTok and just Gen Z, the power of Gen Z as well, if TikTok really to really fuel a movement, right? Gen Z have so much power in the ways Gen Z and how we use TikTok, right? We use it as a mass scale, but how we have a way to really shift things on like the Billboard Hot 100, and like the power of Gen Z and how we use music, not only how we take music in like regards to like listening to a song, but also creating challenges, and a song becoming viral on TikTok that can change a song's trajectory. Like a song that could have come out like 4 or 5 years ago, being this huge song now because it was used on TikTok. So with Olivia really leading into, not even her specifically, but just like the social media leading into using TikTok, right? And we get that from the previous point about the storyline, people creating videos about that, but people also creating videos because they like the song. It just culminates into a massive like a massive audience of people just wanting to be interested in her and in her life story, right? So that aids it, right? The third point that I wanted to make is the Taylor Swift comparison, and I know a lot of people have become really annoyed by the Taylor comparison, but I think it's one that we need to note, right? Because I think that there has been a gap in the music industry with regards to songwriting, and I know people are gonna like get a bit upset with me and say like, oh, Ari writes her own songs, and I'm saying in pop, sorry, I meant to say specifically in pop music, and I know people are gonna be like, yeah, Ari co-writes her songs with Victoria Monet, and this person does Katie does some writing, and this person Dua does some writing, but I mean when like you can see that it's heavily that person and maybe one of their co-producers, we have been missing that element, and we've been missing the young girl narrative in pop music. Like it's been really missing. I know Billie has a different we have the sad girl narrative, so we can see that it worked with Billie Eilish, where she released her album and her album went incredibly massive. She won how many? 4 Grammys for When We All Sleep, Where Do We Go? When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, right? That album was huge, but it was this anti-pop, more alternative, didn't want to lean into pop, but more rebellious, more like, yeah, it was like a very sad girl heartbreak narrative, right? But we haven't had that very lyrically inclined, because I think with Billie it was a lot to do with sonics and how things sounded and the production wise of things, right? But I feel like with Olivia Rodrigo we got that lyricism that we didn't, that like I don't remember us really having in pop music for a long time, and so there's always been a genre for that. That's why young people, old people love Taylor, because there's been a genre for that. But oftentimes the youngins now, like when I was young, saying when I was young, I'm still young, but like when I was 10 going to like, when I was like a teenager, right? I just turned 20, but when I was a teenager, I was like obsessed with Taylor Swift, because like, I don't know, the ways in which she was able to just paint a picture with her words and really make you feel like you were in that relationship, and Jake Gyllenhaal left you at your party and you were wearing a red dress, and this was, oh my goodness, cue the moment I knew. No, but like she really makes you feel like you're in that moment, and even though I have yet to experience that tumultuous nature of those relationships, because of the way that Taylor wrote the music, I was like, child, I'm there, I'm very much there. And so there's been a very big gap, and because of the way that again ties into the first point, into the second point of how Gen Z consume music, right? If Gen Z are going to relate to a person or relate to a song because it makes you feel like you're in high school and you're going through these relationships, the people who are older are going to be like, wow, that takes me back. But the people who are now and the people who are younger, they'll be like, oh my goodness, that happened to me last week. People are talking, but it's okay. So I think that narrative was missing in pop music because Billie went a different way. Billie went like a more sad, more edgier, more like, oh my goodness, this is life and life is hectic and all of this, and going into the more like angsty but also dealing with mental health and stuff. But then Olivia was dealing with like the natures of a relationship and how like the ups and downs and turning a sour relationship into something that you can look back on, right, and learn certain things, or just bathe in your sadness, right? The possibilities of being able to do those things. So definitely a narrative was missing. My fourth point is about nostalgia, and Olivia was able to bring this really nostalgic feel to music. It could tie in with like how I felt like when I listened to Taylor, but also she was and it was funny because like her using other references like Paramore and like Jennifer's Body when she did the Good For You video, like that feels like nostalgia because it's like, what, like I feel like a grandma, like. But using like, if you go on Twitter and if you go on other social medias, we like to reference the early 2000s, and we love to reference different times in music. So when musicians can use that as well and incorporate it into their music, it's like, wow, this is giving me Paramore vibes, this is giving me Taylor vibes, this is giving me Lord vibes. The bridge in Deja Vu with the now everything is overused, and when I listen to Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift, and the I don't want to get circus just to keep you, and I can hear that and I'm like, oh my goodness, reminisce to love our album, da, da, da. Even though nostalgia maybe isn't the word, maybe just like reminiscing, it gives those vibes, and we can pull from different times in music, right? And even when I listen to Brutal by Olivia, and I can hear like the Lord references in that, I don't know, it's very smart and it's very clever. And I think final point, which is the obvious biggest point in this, is Olivia being on Disney Channel, and Disney, as we know, Disney Plus, whatever you want to call it, and even before that with Bizarre Folk, but I never watched that show. But like the Disney machine on its own, and her being added to like another label, and with All I Want becoming viral in 2019, all I want is love to last. All I want too much to ask. There's something wrong with me. But anyway, with All I Want becoming viral, with her having already an audience, because the thing is, before Driver's License came out, Olivia Rodrigo had 1.9 million followers on Instagram. Now she has like 11 million, like in the space of like 6 months. Her followers, like, what the heck, like 10 million followers in the space of 6 months, right? But she already had 1 million followers. That's enough for me. That's enough of an audience for me. Like, people, she had stans already from the show. That's enough of an audience, right? To drive something from Disney, people watching you for Disney, High School Musical, the series, already having that like talk about you, and then having a song that becomes incredibly big, and people being able to push you further and advertise it more, and whatever. Like Disney in and of itself, that's why when somebody created the video and it was like the mysterious rise, it's like, no, Disney Channel, like nothing's if this was somebody who we had never heard of before, and they weren't someone who was already acting, she was in she was in a couple New Girl episodes, like she was there in the scene somewhere, right? If she wasn't on Disney, then we can have an authentic conversation about, wow, this person came out of nowhere. But them being on Disney Channel already says something. Like, we can't say that this person is random when they were on Disney. Like, Disney Channel is Disney Channel. But yeah, guys, for all those different reasons, and also just because her music is fresh and it's fun and it's light-hearted. Actually, it's not really. Q, hope you're okay. But her music is fun and fresh and a different perspective that we haven't had. So I feel like people were able to really gravitate towards her. Please let me know what your favorite song is on the Sour album if you've gotten this far in the video. I would love to hear your opinions. I feel like I touched on all the necessary points that really aid in why Olivia Rodrigo is who she is today, and like the success of that and the success of Sour, because of like how big Driver's License was. It went like number 8 weeks to number 1. Good For You was about to get there because of how insane the video was and people were really talking about it. Like, it made sense. It makes sense if you think about it, right? And also I think the fact that Deja Vu Driver's License came out in January, not that many artists were releasing music at the start, right? The only person, like, I don't remember, people started releasing music like when Justin released Peaches, and then when who was releasing music, other music came up, but once Justin released Peaches and then Drake released music and then Silk Sonic released music, then they went to like the number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But the period that Olivia was releasing, not that many people were as well, so it was a good time for her to be able to get to the number 1 on the Billboard, but then for her to stay there for 8 weeks, and no one has been able to do that thus far. Within this year she's been able to stay on like the Hot 100 for longer than people have been able to this year, which is incredible. But yeah guys, all those reasons, I think, like, for all those reasons, a culmination of all those reasons, I think that's why Olivia Rodrigo is where she is today, and I'm so excited to see her journey unfold over the next 6 months. Yeah, but I'm so excited that she released the debut album and not just an EP, because like, don't give us scraps, like just give us the whole thing. And I'm so glad that she did, and so I look forward to seeing all the other things that she comes up with, hopefully a concert and then a next album. She's probably working on it so that we can get it next year, but in the meantime I'm gonna be reacting to her songs. They're making me cry. But yeah guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment something that you found interesting about this video, or your favorite song, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And yeah guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.